I'm going to try to wrap this up. I just spent a week at Oxford, 15 hours a day for 5 days, talking about our Newtonian culture and the quantum theory. And let me just say it this way. Imagine that Newtonian is simple, law-abiding, it's controllable, it is top-down. Quantum is complex, a bit chaotic. It is, like our society actually is. It's uncertain. Let me describe to you a little bit, let's go back. The quantum theory. Newtonian is cause and effect, cause and effect. This building, these chairs, our organizations, our society is built on the Newtonian theory. IQ is Newtonian. You know something or you don't know it. You can pass a test or you can't. It's very structured. And that's the way we think. It came out today and we identified it here today, actually. And we identified some of the differences. Those videos that you saw, that was not Newtonian thinking. That was quantum thinking. And now what is quantum? Visualize an atom, and then Einstein came along and Newtonian said, there's nothing inside the atom. That's the smallest possible particle that makes all of us up and makes everything up around us. Einstein came along and said, oh, I think that's not true. There's a bunch of powerful stuff inside that atom. And let's call those particles. I'm not a scientist. But these particles are ruminating around. Imagine this room full of particles everywhere. Little electrical signals, all their power sources, running around, and they kind of interact with each other. All you have to do is open up a door, and the whole room changes. All these particles absolutely are generated. They all interact with everybody else. Open up another door, boom, a whole different thing happens. Now enter a person with a positive idea, a negative idea. Completely different responses. That's us in this universe. That's each of our actions each day. And so when you saw those videos, there was a perfect example of the social side of capitalism in those companies. Here are some of the Newtonian is predictable. Quantum is rapid change. That is the world we live in. I'm just picking a few of these out. Power emulates from the top. Quantum, many intersecting centers of power. And you know in your organizations, there's the formal organization, and then there's the informal one that actually gets the job done and makes it work. They are different. In any company, there may be a president, but you can be assured there's somebody that everybody looks to, maybe more than the president, for direction, leadership, and encouragement. Competition versus cooperation. Efficiency. In our company, we have something we used to call production reports. And we say, we got to change this to effectiveness. I just saw a young person, been in the business for 2 years, and he produced a production report. I couldn't believe it. But it doesn't go away very easily. I'm not in the company, so I sent it on to the CEO. Here you got it. Whereas in quantum, it's relationship, meaning, and service value driven. We call it effectiveness. Everybody likes to know how they're doing, and that's the purpose of those reports. Donna Zohr wrote a book called, and I will show it to you in a minute, Spiritual Capital, not faith-based. This is about, capitalism, which is collecting wealth, make the pile bigger. I got a bigger pile than you. And she has proven through physics that all the other connecting parts of our society are equally important. And if capitalism is to survive, they have to invest in all the things around them. Now, good corporations have always done that. And good corporations last, they have sustainability, because they're connected to the whole universe. I'm not going to try to explain more than that because of the time. I hope you got it. I see a couple of faces that have it, but that's adequate. In the world, number one, this is Google Analytics, number one inquiries about servant leadership is the Philippines. Number 2 is Singapore. Number 3 is Europe. And number 4 is the United States. So you know intuitively there's some evidence of being number 4. So we have lots of opportunity. This is a platform for a local movement. We're seeding the future. World comes together here in this room. Here are companies. Johnsonville is international. PPC Partners is 2 regional operations. All the rest of these companies are conspicuously, overtly, and covertly servant-led companies. So it works. Southwest Airlines, easily understood by everyone, has produced profit every year. All these other airlines have gone out of business, they've gone bankrupt. Southwest, their planes are on the ground for 20 minutes, in and out, and they got good service. How do they get that done? They started with servant leadership. They got generations in. Here's material that's out there for anybody that's new to the room. The Servant Leader, that orange booklet, people read that one for the rest of their life. The Case for Servant Leadership is an hour-and-a-half read. It's a good place to give a book to someone to get them started. Questions and answers are exactly what it represents. It's excellent. Servant Leader in the boardroom. Boardrooms are under fire today. And there's a good reference if you're in boardrooms. Listening and humility are 2 essential elements easily understood in servant leadership. These are 2 books. And Spiritual Capital, it's a book I could not get through. I got so much underlining. I thought I was reading a physics page, the way I went through it. It's just loaded with information. And she takes all the scientists in the world, brings them all forward, and proves how the quantum theory works in this spiritual capital, which really is social capital. It began really, this whole movement in this area began with Emotional Talents by Goldman. Then Donna wrote the book Spiritual Intelligence, and from that springboard Social Intelligence and 2 others. And now she's brought it up to here, and she's got 2 more books in the stream. For those that want to really, this is a stretch of your skill sets. We have a monthly discussion group. You've heard about it. It's the 3rd Thursday, this Thursday. Milwaukee Opportunities. Tom Theobald is bringing to Milwaukee July 15th and 18th. There's flyers on your table. Sounds to me like theory and practice. It's nuts and bolts. Great place to go or send someone. Discussion groups, online.ning.com. That is not popular. Anybody can make it popular if they choose. You can run it. The International Conference, June 12 to 14. The Foundations of Servant Leadership is a course internationally that you can take online and over the phone. Key practices, those are dates for that. These are small groups.